Let's talk about strategy. It's a word we hear a lot about in the business world, but how often do you really think about strategy in the church? If you're me, it's a lot, but I'm a little odd in that. Strategy is a word we throw around without really understanding what it means. It's in its simplest form, strategy is just a plan to accomplish our mission and vision. It's about figuring out how to get from where we are to where we want to be. So in this chapter, in this course, Strategy 601, I outline a 3-step process for developing a solid ministry strategy. First, we want to define the reality. This means taking an honest look, really an honest look at what we are actually doing, what's actually happening in our church, not just what we wish was happening. The second thing we do is we design a plan based on our mission and our vision. What specific steps do we need to take to move forward? And then lastly, third, we deliver the plan and we evaluate and then we adjust. No plan is going to be perfect right out of the gate. We need to be willing to track our progress, make changes as needed, and constantly be learning and improving. With this in mind, I focus this chapter on creating a strategic and intentional discipleship pathway. That's a big buzzword in the church today, but we need to figure out how to actually do it, not just talk about it. Churches often have a bunch of different programs and ministries happening going on, right? But are they all working together towards a common goal that fulfills the mission? We need to think about discipleship as a journey, like a series of steps that lead people from where they are closer to Jesus. I like to think of it like a moving sidewalk. So no matter where you step on the sidewalk, it's moving you in the direction of your Heavenly Father. It's not just about what happens after someone becomes a Christian either, though. It's about reaching people where they are and then helping them take those first steps, even those initial steps in their faith journey. So here's where the strategic thinking comes in. We need to be intentional about designing our ministries and programs in a way that supports this discipleship journey. Every activity, every event, every sermon should be seen as a step that leads to a best next and incremental step. Now, I know all this strategy and planning can feel a bit overwhelming, okay, especially if you're already feeling a little bit thin, stretched too thin. But think of it this way. Without a strategy, this is so important. Without a strategy, success is accidental and failure is rarely fixable. If we're not intentional about what we're doing, we're going to end up just wandering around in circles, hoping, fingers crossed, that it works. So we really should take a cue from probably Rick Warren in this purpose-driven church model, not to necessarily implement it exactly as he created it, but Rick understood the power of strategy, and he used it to build one of the most impactful churches in the world. He started with a very clear mission and vision. He developed a plan based on biblical principles. Then he implemented it with passion and commitment and adjusted along the way. So here's my challenge to you. Take some time to evaluate your church's current strategy. Are your programs and ministries aligned with your mission? Are they effectively guiding people along a discipleship pathway? And if not, don't be afraid to make some changes. Remember, it's okay to marry our mission, but we want to just date our methods, date our model. We need to be willing to adapt and evolve as we seek to fulfill God's calling on our churches.